Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next Boruto anime review. This one's going to be for episode 270. So this was the episode where we finally got the full situation of what's going on with Hana, who is the assassin, and as expected, she is the assassin. She does have multiple personalities here. The nice teacher that we've met for basically up the whole time is real, and based on this episode is actually like her core personality is sort of like that, but maybe hiding certain aspects of herself. But the assassin is this other kind of created personality to do the things that the original Hana wouldn't actually do. And so the core of this entire episode is really just that reveal. Yes, you get scenes with Kawaki and stuff like that, but for the most part, this was the kind of internal Hana episode to get that reveal across to us. And I do think the episode probably could have covered a little bit more ground, because I think when you really sum up this episode, it is that middle scene of basically in Hana's mind and the two kind of personalities talking to each other with a bit of backstory in it. I think the a lot of the build up to that and the aftermath to that is like was not necessarily sort of needed, and probably could have been, some other scenes probably could have been better kind of inserted there to get it across. There's just a sense where, like, okay, it was clear this was the big reveal for this episode, but in a way, because it was kind of obvious coming into the episode, I felt like I wanted a little bit more from this. It still is one of the most notable things that has happened in the arc. Like, that has to be noted here. And I think in general, it was really well done, because I like Hana as a character. I like this reveal in terms of what's going on. And I am very excited to see what they do with regards to like the resolution of this, because the backstory is actually somewhat interesting and detailed here, and it's quite like lengthy in that, okay, she is an orphan. She was brought on board by the minister, who is basically trying to take over the land of bamboo. That's who the assassins are working for. So he had, 50 children, all trained to be assassins to eventually execute this plan. And to get the best assassin, he had them basically compete against each other, kill each other, until at the end, Hana was the one left. Now, this is where the two personalities come out, in that they seem to imply that Hana's core personality is that she is somewhat like the character that we primarily know, the teacher, in that she doesn't want to kill anyone, but does actually have a quite strong survival instinct, which I guess makes sense considering this quite kind of brutal kind of upbringing and what happened to her. But she couldn't bring herself to do it herself. So she basically, I guess, created, or just this more kind of brutal assassin aspect formed, which did the killing effectively for her. And that's how Hana actually survived and became the chosen assassin. This is why she was sent on the mission here. And she was basically sent to live in the Leaf Village from like a somewhat young age. So it was a complete like deep cover here of like she grew up in the Leaf Village. This isn't just like she's transferred here like a year ago. No, she's been here for quite a while to execute on this mission, which I think gets across the idea that this was a mission that wouldn't happen for multiple years. So she has lived a lot of her life, I guess, as her original persona, and it's just that the brutal persona takes over at certain key moments. We'll see what they do with the reveal of that, of like, does the other part take over more than we actually think? That's probably the key kind of interesting part in all of this. So this is where like the episode does reveal to us, and like connecting all the dots of like, this explains a lot of those incidents of why Hana was in like a hospital bed, but then why she ends up in the rubble. And it's obviously, like, as we suspected from the previous episodes, conveniently she goes missing from a scene and then the assassin shows up. It was very obvious what they were actually going for here. It was just the scenes that we got here directly confirmed to us that this Hana honestly doesn't remember what happens when the other persona actually takes over. That's a key thing. So the slow reveal, this was actually quite well done. Again, that middle scene was really strong. As she goes back to her home and basically discovers the like secret assassin room with all the equipment, was this shocking thing, because otherwise she is this pretty kind character, and seeing that contrast between who she is sometimes and who she usually is quite interesting, because again there's a clear distinction, but she does seem to have this conflict in her head about basically fighting for control over the two. And the kind of key thing that actually happens in this episode seems to be the assassin aspect of her personality basically locking up the kind-hearted part of her character. Now, Hana was able to initially break through and stop a potential assassination attempt in this episode. It just in the school against Kei. But at the end, it seems like the kind Hana has been like completely shut down, and we are fully dealing with just the other version of Hana. And they obviously showed that by the idea that this Hana can act like the character that people expect, but there are some things that she doesn't do that are quite subtle, like the flower petals that her students gave her from the start of the episode, which Hana clearly treasures. This Hana just threw away. Also, just a butterfly flies by, crush. So just those little things to get across that there is quite a difference here. Now, what we seem to be going on to is some sort of a kind of field trip type thing, where they're going to be on an island. There's going to be some sort of an exploration type situation going on here. Hana will be there. And I guess during all of this, with everyone spread out, this is going to be an assassination attempt against Kei for Hana. And it's all going to be about Kawaki basically being on the case and I guess stopping this and becoming aware of the two different parts of Hana. That's going to be the key thing of like, since it is this internal thing, how will the other characters find out about what actually is going on here? Because that's going to be key if, like I suspect, I think they probably will keep this character around. Given that the backstory involves her having lived in the Leaf Village for what seems to be the last 10 plus years, I think it makes sense if they're maybe able to somehow shut away or merge back together the two aspects of herself into a more neutral character. I think they will stick with her as the teacher. I'd be surprised if she's just gone after this, given the amount of development that they've actually given to everything in this arc up to now. Beyond that, visually, I liked what they did to show the kind of distinction between the two. That Hana has this obviously like hairstyle, but it's like her dark hair then changes into like, it's got like a tip of red, kind of like the kind of paintbrush almost style thing, and then the dark Hana has like the reverse, where she has red hair with just a dark tip. That was a nice thing to kind of show. Now, obviously, when they did the actual flashbacks of when the dark persona was in charge, Hana's hairstyle is normal. But I like that, like, internally, it's that sort of reversal of like the red sort of represents the kind of bloodthirsty assassin aspect, and there's more of it there on the dark persona than there is on the kind persona. Other than that, the dynamic with the class, there was a few scenes with some of them, is nice. Just continuing the continuity of, like, they've done development on a few of these characters. They referenced the whole, like, AG joke from the previous episode. Beyond that, it's just like, okay, I'm in. I'm excited to see where you go with this in terms of how many episodes of this arc are left. It feels like we probably have to get into moving towards the wrap up. But again, now that the reveal is that Hana works for the minister, they seemingly wrapped up. Like, this is done. The mission is over. They've everyone's been captured and it's all good. Kay is apparently, is she still going back to the land of bamboo? I forget if they addressed that or not. But even if we address the whole Hana situation, we still have to, I think, have some resolution with the whole K leadership aspect. And I suppose introduce that minister character. I think they probably will do more of a clear-cut backstory highlighting, like, Hana maybe killing the other assassins and how exactly that happened. But there is other stuff other than just like, oh, Hana will be resolved in, like, the next episode or two. I think you have to have some Land of Bamboo stuff actually happen in all of this, and that I guess we'll have to meet her brother at some point to see, like, is he involved in this, or is it literally just that it's the minister orchestrating things overall. So overall with this episode, pretty good, very notable, like, big Hana scene with the reveal of her multiple personalities and the build up to it and what's happening. Outside of that stuff, I didn't feel the episode was, like, that great. It was quite simple what they did with the rest of it, but it did what it needed to do. So I can't have, like, too many complaints about it. But just to get across the idea, I don't think it was, like, a perfect execution on this reveal, but still very good. So in the comments, let me know what your thoughts are on this episode. Otherwise, that's been it. Thanks for watching, and bye.